Aloha mai kaua. O wau o kumukeahi. O ia ka alaka'i o ke papa nei. O kapa ia o Hawaiian Culture and Language, Education 643. Um, First and foremost, you won't have to speak Hawaiian to take this class. My primary function here is that we will all work together. We will charge this class. We will all jump in the canoe and paddle together. We'll be using a textbook. The textbook's called Ho'ulu, Hawaiian Epistemology by Manu Meyer, a friend of mine, a professor. She wrote the text when I was taking her class, so it's interesting to see that I'm able to use it in her class. So what primarily does it mean to take this class? I know you're probably wondering, and I'll try to make it as concise as possible, something I'm not always that good at. But in taking this class, there's a couple of things we want to do, and that is we're going to do this by meeting once a week. And I know, what? Meet once a week? No, don't do it. It's only for 90 minutes. What? 90 minutes? That's crazy. It's only 90 minutes. It's 90 minutes in a week that encompasses maybe 10,000 minutes in a week. I just want a little bit less than 100. And I'll stick to it as close as I can. We'll all choose what day it is we want to meet. Some days are a little easier than other days, at least for me. But we will only meet once. But I also want to stipulate that in the meeting, I know that we're all adults and that sometimes you can't come to a meeting, but I certainly want to encourage you to come to almost all if possible, and to come in a timely manner. And like I had just said previously, we all need to get to this canoe. We all have a journey we're going to travel together, and we need to start on time. It's a little difficult if you come in late and then you have to try to catch up, or if you don't come at all and then we have to paddle the journey without your assistance or at least without your contribution. So I'm going to just tell you straight up right now that I'm not a big person to take roll, but there are going to be some exceptions, I guess, to that. And that's, as an adult, you make the decisions when you'll be able to come to class. But I will certainly strongly encourage you to come to the first class so we can get these details out of the way. But if you can't happen to make it, I know some people might miss a class or two, or they might come late to a class or two. The only way that I don't particularly pay attention is you let me know before the class. If you're not going to make it to class, let me know before the class. If you're going to be late, let me know before the class, even a minute, right? Even a minute before class. And if it's okay, I'll share it with the class that you might not be able to be there that day and we'll have to move forward, and or that you'll be coming in a little late. When I say coming into class a little late, we'll be using the Zoom platform. One of my suggestions is you have some kind of headphone set that disconnects what you hear from what you're talking. I know many of you are probably very familiar with Zoom now, at least over those last few months. So some of you mute and everything, but my classes, if anything, if I could stipulate it, if I could say how we conduct this class, it's really dynamically, that you need to be able to talk and hear. We need to be able to exchange. To sort of mute and unmute, mute and unmute might not particularly be useful. I've had some students, I requested that they mute because all their children are playing in the background, or somebody's watching TV really loud in the background. I'd hopefully find that that you find a quiet place that we can engage for the 90 minutes, like I said. Now, I know we call this Hawaiian Culture and Language, and I'm not exactly sure. I wasn't the one who named the class, but if I had to name this class, it would really be called something more like Educational Leadership for your students. Because this, I will promise you in this class, every single day in this class, I will provide for you a relevant tool. And we will, in this class, use these tools. And then the next moment, I might give you another tool and we'll continue to use it. I really want you to use it, at least in the period of this course, any of these tools that I'm handing, to apply them, to get used to them, to find out how we use them. And that there will be a couple ways you'll know that is how I use them on you. When I say educational leadership, it primarily means that I'm going to teach in a way, a content in a way, and both of those are probably equally valuable. I want my efforts always when I'm in the classroom and even online here is to empower my students. And there's a certain way to do it. And your words are going to be very important, and the methods that you use and the tools that you might use are going to be very important. So my whole objective is to make this as valuable a course experience as possible, not only in content, but also in methodology. So but we have to do that together. And I'm going to guarantee you this. This will probably one of your more unusual online classes. It's going to be super energetic, but engaging. It's going to be pretty well different, but dynamic. And and in this process, we're going to learn many things through practice and application of the ideas, the Hawaiian cultural ideas. Now, regarding how we're going to move through this class, if you have questions, you always feel free to call me. You could call or text or email. If you need a little bit of extra time, you weren't quite sure what's happening, we can just set a time and Zoom it. Or if a couple of you want to meet with me, Zoom, or I don't know, on campus or whatever, I'm pretty flexible. I'm very flexible. My whole objective is to power you guys up so that you could power your students up. And I know all of this might seem a little weird in how I'm discussing this, but I guarantee you, at the end of this class, if you watch this video again, it's going to look much different. And I hope you'll find it valuable. I don't mean to, be boastful, but I know a lot of my students find this class different, valuable, but there's a lot of work. So I need your commitment. That's what I really need first. And your trust that we're going where we need to go in a way that I think would be I've taught this probably shy of 20 times, and it gets better and better, but different and different. At least the way I deliver, but every class is different. And and I want it to be different because you guys are different. And our collective is what creates the dynamic in that class that we're looking for. But I'll shape the curriculum as best I can. You guys are the boss. So I need you to be honest with me. If you say, hey, you know what, this is really not working, or this is pretty confusing, I'm okay with that. I hope you say that. I hope I'm not confusing you, but if you are, I certainly hope you feel comfortable enough to work with me on that, and we'll get it. And then if it seems to be a consensus, then we'll clear it up with the class. How we're going to conduct this class, there's a text. It's not in print anymore, so that means you get it for free. I'll be sending a link in the next few days so that you can start reading up. Most of it, I think most of the stuff, the reading is a pretty major component, and we're going to review it. I want to hear your perspectives, the interactions on Canvas platform that we'll be using, but also we want to. I'm going to be providing you content that we'll review almost every day. I'll be posting most of these things online, but I encourage you to at least take notes. That sort of kinesthetic memory by you taking your own notes while you're reading or even during the class. But I want you to focus on what we're doing in class more than the notes. I need you guys to participate. I need you guys to dynamically work with me. I tend to do it Socratically, so I'll ask lots of questions, and I hope you guys won't be shy about responding or contributing, jumping right in and providing your own perspective on many of the concepts we'll be going over today. Anyway, that being said, so we'll have some content that I will provide that we'll interact with. There'll be a few cool videos, I think, that will kind of shift the way you see things, deepen your understanding of Hawaiian cultural ideas and how best to approach these, how best to be what your students need you to be. And then in the end, I would like to think by somehow polishing your leadership skills that we will refine your ability to get your students to be the leaders, one tool at a time. And so we have the book, we have the content, and then I think that's most of it, meeting once a week. So I'll be sending an email soon to all of you guys just about the structure and provide you a link to the text. And then I think that should be good enough. Please feel free to call me somewhere on this page where this video was posted. Say, I'm certain there's an email around here. And then, but let's, hopefully we can exchange phone numbers. I'll be sending out a survey and a little bit of icebreaker material right off the bat. But let's rock and roll. I just, once again, the main thing that will make this work is my commitment to you and my trust to you. As long as you commit to me and your trust to me, we'll make it work. I appreciate your time and definitely your attention. And then I look forward to doing this class again with you guys. Thanks a bunch. We'll talk soon.